Over the past few months building the Wisdom Trust, I've been having conversations with gay men over 50 from a range of backgrounds and different life experiences. They've all got different stories, different paths, different lives. But underneath many of these conversations, I keep noticing something similar emerging. And it's a deep yearning for more meaningful connection. Not simply socializing, but belonging. And I think there's a difference. Earlier in life, many of us organize ourselves around movement, around momentum, around identity, visibility, sexuality, career, friendship circles, nightlife, striving, and survival. Some of that was necessary for sure, and some of it was really joyful, and some of it helped us to become who we are. But somewhere along the way, something begins to shift. The things that once felt exciting or important don't always reach us in the same way that they did. The social circles may still exist, but longing becomes different. Less interest in quantity and more interest in depth. Less interest in performance and more interest in resonance. Less interest in being surrounded by people and more interest in feeling genuinely connected to them. I think many of us begin this craving of relationship where we can exhale a little bit more fully when we're engaged, where we don't need to constantly perform certainty, relevance, desirability, success, or identity. Those are fixtures in some of our lives, where conversations can become more honest, more thoughtful, more human. And maybe this is a part of what aging invites us into. It's not about withdrawal from life, but a deeper relationship with it. A more intentional relationship with ourselves and with each other. I sometimes think of this stage of life as the soul wanting a bigger voice at the table. Because for decades, many of us learned how to survive, adapt, achieve, perform, build our identities, navigate rejection, seek belonging, and carve out lives for ourselves in a world that often didn't make that easy. And a lot of this was driven by our egoic nature, which is great. But eventually we want to start diving in, to have deeper questions. They start to come to the surface. Questions about meaning, for example, purpose. What is your purpose? Contribution, community, how we want to live, who we want to be around as we age, and what actually nourishes us now. And here's a hint, it's going to be different for a lot of you than it was in the past. And perhaps more importantly, who are we becoming? I don't think there's one right way to navigate any of this at this stage in life. Some men remain deeply engaged in activism and advocacy, for example. Some continue to build careers and businesses well into their later years. Some reinvent themselves entirely. Some turn inward. Some become mentors. And some seek community more intentionally, perhaps for the first time. There's room for many paths, as there should be. But I do think many gay men are quietly searching for new models of aging, because the truth is, we inherited very few. The AIDS crisis profoundly shaped our community. We lost countless men who might today be visible examples of gay elderhood, mentorship, partnership, creativity, and community leadership. They're gone. Many of the men who survived carried enormous grief, resilience, adaptation, and responsibility forward. And while there are extraordinary elders doing important work today, for sure, we still don't have many visible cultural models for what conscious aging can actually look like. So many of us are figuring this out as we go. And I think that's part of why community matters so much now. Not community built around the nightlife and status, image, and performance, but community that's rooted in emotional safety, in meaningful conversation, in curiosity, in growth, participation, humanity, and mutual care. That's an important one. Spaces where we can speak honestly about what's changing. Spaces where we can continue evolving. Spaces where aging is not treated as disappearance, but as deepening. That's what the Wisdom Trust is becoming. Yes, it's a podcast, but more than that, it's a growing conversation about what it means to age consciously for gay men. And it's about belonging, elderhood, about chosen family, about embodiment, about purpose, about creating richer and more intentional ways of living together. Not because we have all the answers, but because many of us are hungry for something deeper now. And maybe one of the most important things we can do at this stage is to stop aging alone. If this resonates with you, I'd love to invite you to join the Wisdom Trust community. Subscribe to this podcast. Find us on the School platform. I genuinely believe this is the beginning of something very meaningful. We'll talk to you soon.